Broken bones and justice served. The small town of Redwood was usually peaceful, but one reckless biker changed everything one fateful afternoon. Lily, a sweet 7-year-old, was riding her pink bicycle in front of her house when a roaring motorcycle sped down the street. The rider, a towering man in a leather jacket with a skull patch, had no intention of slowing down. With a reckless swerve, he clipped Lily's bike, sending her crashing to the pavement. She screamed in pain as her tiny arm twisted at an unnatural angle. The biker? He just scoffed, revved his engine, and sped off like nothing happened. Lily's cries reached her father, who ran out of the house in panic. But before he could do anything, someone else had already witnessed the incident: Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and John Cena. The two WWE legends had been in town for a charity event, taking a quiet drive when they saw the whole thing unfold. And if there was one thing these two didn't tolerate, it was bullies. The chase begins. Cena floored the gas pedal of his pickup truck, peeling out onto the street after the biker. The Rock? He was already on the phone with the police, but he had no plans of waiting around. The chase led them to an abandoned lot on the outskirts of town, where the biker finally stopped, thinking he had lost them. As he swung off his bike, a massive shadow loomed behind him. "Not so fast, big guy," rumbled the Rock's voice. The biker turned, and before he could react, John Cena tackled him to the ground like a freight train. The man struggled, but the Rock bent down, gripping the guy by his leather jacket. "You broke a little girl's arm," he growled. "Now, we're gonna break your ego." Justice delivered. The police arrived just in time to see Cena standing over the groaning biker, his arms crossed. The Rock dusted off his hands. "Officer," the Rock said, gesturing at the downed man. "This punk hit a little girl and ran. We just made sure he didn't run again." The cops arrested the biker on the spot for reckless endangerment and fleeing the scene of an accident. Meanwhile, Cena and The Rock visited Lily in the hospital, bringing her WWE merchandise, ice cream, and a promise. "You just say the word," The Rock told her, "and we'll make sure that biker never shows his face in Redwood again." Lily giggled, despite her cast. "You guys are the best." John Cena smiled. "Nah, kid. You're the real champ." And just like that, justice was served, Rock and Cena style. The whole town of Redwood was talking about what had happened. Word spread fast that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and John Cena had taken down the reckless biker who broke little Lily's arm. But this story? Oh, it was far from over. The bikers revenged. The biker, whose real name was Rex "Mad Dog" Turner, was no ordinary thug. He was part of a ruthless motorcycle gang known as the Iron Fangs, a group infamous for illegal street races, smuggling, and intimidation. When the police hauled Rex to jail, his gang didn't take kindly to it. The next night, a dozen bikers rolled into town, their engines growling like thunder. Their leader, a scarred man named Reaper, stepped off his Harley and cracked his knuckles. "Nobody embarrasses one of ours," he muttered. Their target? The hospital where Lily was recovering. Rock and Cena, the last line of defense. It just so happened that The Rock and John Cena were still in town. They had promised to check on Lily, and when they heard the unmistakable roar of motorcycles approaching the hospital, their instincts kicked in. Cena peeked out the window and saw the Iron Fangs gathering in the parking lot. "We've got company," he said, cracking his neck. The Rock smirked. "Then let's welcome them properly." As the gang started marching toward the hospital entrance, the doors burst open, and out walked The Rock and John Cena, standing tall like two superheroes. Reaper sneered. "Oh, look, Hollywood and Mr. You can't see me think they can take on a real gang." Cena smirked. "We don't think. We know. All-out brawl, WWE versus." The Iron Fangs. The bikers rushed forward, but The Rock and Cena were ready. Cena grabbed the first thug and lifted him into a brutal attitude adjustment, slamming him onto the hood of a car. The Rock dodged a punch, countered with a spinebuster, and then followed up with the people's elbow right onto another biker's chest. Reaper lunged at Cena with a chain, but Cena caught it midair and yanked Reaper forward into a massive clothesline. Meanwhile, The Rock faced off with Rex, who had just bailed himself out of jail. "I don't care if you're a Hollywood star," Rex growled. "I'm gonna break you." The Rock chuckled. "Nah, see, I'm gonna break you." With that, The Rock hit a thunderous rock bottom, slamming Rex into the pavement. The remaining bikers, seeing their leader and top men down, scattered. Sirens blared in the distance as the police arrived. The aftermath: Reaper, Rex, and the remaining gang members were arrested on the spot. The sheriff shook his head, looking at The Rock and Cena. "I don't know how you two do it, But you just saved this town. Cena dusted off his shoulders. It's what we do. Inside, Lily watched from her hospital bed, her eyes wide with awe. That was so cool, she giggled. The Rock walked up to her, setting down a signed WWE Championship belt. Next time someone messes with you, just hold this up and tell him, The Rock and John Cena got your back. Lily beamed. You guys are my heroes. Cena winked. Nah, kid. You're the real champ. And with that, justice was served, Rock and Cena style. After The Rock and John Cena took down the Iron Fangs, the town of Redwood finally felt safe, for a while. But deep in the city, word of the biker gang's humiliating defeat reached someone far more dangerous. Victor, the Viper Kane, the mastermind behind the Iron Fangs criminal empire. Sitting in his luxurious high-rise office, Victor watched the security footage of The Rock and Cena taking out his men. He exhaled slowly, swirling a glass of whiskey. These muscleheads think they can ruin my operation, he muttered. I'll show them what real power looks like. He picked up his phone. Send the Bone Crusher. A new threat arrives days later. The Rock and Cena were preparing to leave Redwood when a convoy of black SUVs rolled into town. Leading them was a towering figure, 6'9", 320 pounds of solid muscle, covered in tattoos. His name was Mason Bone Crusher Steele, a former underground fighter turned enforcer for Victor Kane. The town sheriff, now a big fan of Rock and Cena, rushed over. Fellas, we've got trouble. That guy? He's not like the bikers. He's a professional. Cena smirked. So are we. The Bone Crusher stopped in front of them, cracking his knuckles. You two think you're tough? You embarrassed the Iron Fangs, and my boss ain't happy. So here's the deal. He pointed at Cena. You and me, one-on-one. No rules. Steel cage match. Cena chuckled. You serious? Bone Crusher leaned in. Or I start breaking bones, including that little girl's other arm. The air went dead silent. The Rock tensed up, his jaw clenched. Cena's face darkened. You just made the biggest mistake of your life, The Rock muttered. Cena took a deep breath, then nodded. You got your fight. But when I win, your gang leaves this town forever. Bone Crusher grinned. Deal. The fight of a lifetime. Cena versus Bone Crusher. The town gathered at the abandoned warehouse, where a massive steel cage had been erected. Spotlights lit up the arena, and Victor Kane sat ringside, watching from a VIP box. Inside the cage, Cena and Bone Crusher faced off. The Rock stood outside, gripping the steel bars. You got this, brother. The bell rang. Bone Crusher charged like a raging bull, aiming to crush Cena with sheer power. Cena ducked, dodged, and countered with a series of jabs. But Bone Crusher barely flinched. Wham! Bone Crusher caught Cena mid-dodge and slammed him into the steel cage. The crowd gasped as Cena hit the ground hard. You're soft, Cena, Bone Crusher sneered. You don't belong here. Cena wiped blood from his lip and grinned. You can't see me. Then, he exploded into action. 5-knuckle shuffle. Shoulder tackle. Spinning slam. Bone Crusher staggered, stunned. Then Cena lifted the 320-pound monster onto his shoulders. The crowd roared. Hey! Cena delivered an attitude adjustment that shook the cage. Bone Crusher collapsed, unconscious. The ref counted to 3. Cena had won. The final showdown. The Rock versus Victor Kane. Furious, Victor Kane stormed into the ring. This isn't over, he growled. The Rock stepped forward, cracking his knuckles. Actually, it is. Before Kane could react, rock bottom. The Rock planted him in the center of the ring. The police, already waiting outside, swarmed in and arrested Victor Kane and his remaining men. The aftermath with the Iron Fangs dismantled and their leader behind bars, Redwood was finally safe. As Cena and The Rock visited Lily one last time, she beamed up at them, holding a custom WWE Championship belt with her name on it. Thank you, she said softly. Cena grinned. Anytime, champ. The Rock nodded. If anyone ever messes with you again, just remember, we got your back. With that, the two legends walked off into the sunset, leaving behind a town that would never forget the day The Rock and John Cena became real-life heroes.